The turmoil in Burundi high on their agenda. The violence there has died down in the streets of the capital Bujumbura, but the anger over President Pierre Nkurunziza standing for a third term is yet to subside. The country goes to the polls at the end of June. The United Nations says it will take its cue from East African regional body, but the world body has warned that tensions are high in Burundi.
We now are at a very dangerous situation, and this is one of the reasons I came here, because we are as of yet satisfied that the conflict has not taken on ethnic dimensions. It is mainly a political conflict, but there are some signals that we should listen to and that are very, very dangerous. We must all now accept responsibility for the process.
Turning to the current issue around Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir and the ICC, he was firm on the need for him to be part of the peace process, but also clear on issues of accountability when human rights have been violated.
Sudan is an important country to speak with when it comes to issues like South Sudan, for instance, where they are part of the mediation, but also Sudan proper. I myself have been mediating in the Darfur conflict together with Salim Ahmed Salim. And we have a UN force and a UNAMID force, so we have several issues. We are discussing the size of our force. So yes, there is a need to speak to Sudan, obviously. From our perspective, of course, ICC is a very important institution. It has been set up and supported by a majority of member states. And we, of course, respect the decisions of ICC, and these decisions are to be implemented.
World superpowers were not spared criticism either.
The legitimacy of our international conventions and the acceptance of them will depend on the degree to which major actors also accept them and respect them. And we are asking all the time for universal acceptance, adoption of these instruments. We have that job on so many conventions where we want to have maximum membership, acceptance and ratifications by parliaments, so that the universal standards that we set are really accepted.
A battle between the West and Africa on the reforms of the Security Council. He says the AU faces a long, hard fight. Elliason says the veto powers of countries with permanent seats in the Security Council have frustrated peace efforts.
The standing and legitimacy of the Security Council has to be preserved, and it has certainly been a very trying period for the Security Council recently, with the Syria war going on now more than 4 years. And of course the Ukraine situation, where we of course cannot expect any binding resolution which could play a leading role a guiding role for the peace efforts. So we follow this with great interest, and Secretary Jan and I feel sometimes a bit of frustration, not least in the Syria case, where great negotiators like Kofi Annan and Lakhdar Brahimi have tried their best, but where they didn't have the muscular power to achieve what they wanted. And I've been at headquarters trying to help, but of course see that I don't have that strength that comes from a unified Security Council resolution, which is not vetoed, of course.
These issues are likely to dominate the UN Assembly in September. Sophie Mkwena, SABC News, Johannesburg.